Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking, and today I want to talk about the chief Vatican astronomer. Okay, from the years 2006 to 2015, and his name was Jose Gabriel Funes, and he was a Jesuit director of the Vatican's observatories. Okay, and he once said, the vastness of the universe means it is possible there could be other forms of life outside of Earth, even intelligent ones. So that's a pretty profound statement coming from a leader of the largest Christian church in the world. Anyways, Funes also did say that it doesn't contradict our faith, meaning the Catholic faith, because aliens would still be God's creations, or would still be God's creatures. I think that's how he exactly put it. So, throughout history, man has used religion and science to explain the world, the universe, and its origins. At times, it would seem to be have two different camps, two different methodologies to explain these two things, to explain life here on Earth. So our future lies in our ability to understand the Earth and the universe. Father Fuchs provides insight in this from his position at the Vatican. He had several positions at the Vatican. Anyways, motivated by the curiosity about the end of the universe, Fuchs have tried to consider the cosmic end from different scales. And he was big on. I read quite a few articles about him, and I had a friend that worked at the Vatican and knew of him, and knew a little bit about him, and I'll talk about that in a little while. So he would ask questions like, where we are, or where did we come from? Where are we going? And he would always be asking these type of questions. And he used his astronomy wisdom and knowledge. He was a doctor of astronomy, and he served the Vatican for that was I guess 9 years. About eight years. So he said the scientific method is not the only approach to addressing such questions. It is an important one, but he thinks that it may not be the absolute clear picture by just looking at it from a scientific aspect. Okay. He also said that we have a pretty good picture of the early universe, the origins of the earliest universe, but there is a great deal of uncertainty what is going to happen in the future to the universe. And that's what has concerned him, and that's probably why he said that he had become a Jesuit priest. And as you know, Jesuit priests are the ones that are in the middle of academia, and they're a lot of them are doctors, and a lot of them run colleges, etc. around the world. And I also knew a Jesuit priest, which I will talk about in a moment. Anyways, he was he had a belief that his possible extraterrestrial life was not opposed to the Catholic doctrine. Okay, that was one of his strongest beliefs. Okay, and of course this gave him the ability to have headlines around the world. I've been kind of following him for, golly, since probably 2006 when I first heard about him. And he's been making kind of headlines around the world for, golly, 20 years or more. And I occasionally still see some headlines about him now. Anyways, he was ahead of the Vatican's observatory, and that is located very near Rome in Italy. And then of course, there's another one, quite a famous one, just outside of Tucson, Arizona, on Mount Graham. Now, I lived in Tucson for about 3 years, and even though I never got to the observatory, and I'm sorry I didn't, I was able to see it from a distance from Mount Lemmon, which people that are from the Tucson area know Mount Lemmon is kind of a sister mountain right next to Mount Graham, and from Mount Lemmon you can actually see the observatory, and depending which way the sun is shining, it just gives off this beautiful glow on the dome of the telescopes. So anyways, I got close, but I didn't get there. So Dr. Fuchs, he talked about astronomy. He loved astronomy, as you'd probably figure out. And he felt that astronomy had a profound value, a profound human value. He said it helps us put our hopes, our lives, our problems at the right perspective, which I 100% agree. In this regard, and I speak as a Jesuit priest, astronomy is an instrument that will bring us closer to God. And also he talks about the Big Bang Theory. He actually believes that the Big Bang Theory is a very plausible event. But you cannot ask, he says, you cannot ask the Bible to explain it. That is impossible. He also says that it's very possible in the future, maybe the near future, and I'm going to throw in because of AI, our ability to use AI, that we will probably find a theory that supersedes the Big Bang Theory. Even though he says at this point he does have a belief in the Big Bang Theory. It makes sense to him, as he would say. He said, even until now, there's really no big proof. There is no exact proof of the Big Bang Theory. But he said he would not exclude it from his theories on astronomy. So, with that said, I also want to say one more thing about him. Let me grab my notes here. I'm sorry. And kind of a final note. When he left being the head of astronomy for the Vatican, when he left that position in 2015, then he was put on a really interesting group, and I want to make sure I got this right. He was on the advisory board for a group called METI, I guess, or METI, I guess it is. And that is the Messaging for Extraterrestrial Activity. And I think the other name, they also use this Messaging for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, was what he had said. I read it both ways. I think the reason I did that is in one article it said that it meant two different things. So anyways, the bottom line is he went on. I'm not sure what he's doing exactly today, but he went on to another group that dealt with ETs. Okay? Very interesting, I think, anyways. So let's talk about my own personal thing. I already told you that I lived in the Tucson area in Arizona for about 3.5 years or so. I also had a dear friend who was a Jesuit priest and actually worked in the Vatican Library. And the Vatican Library is called the Apostolic Library, and it's in Rome. And my friend, who was a Jesuit priest, he worked there. He also, by the way, he did visit the Mount Graham Observatory because he was just a Jesuit and he was really into that stuff. But anyways, one of the things he told me, one of the last meetings I had with him when I lived in Tucson, Arizona, was he told me that the Vatican had vast, amazing data and books and studies on UFOs and aliens at the Vatican Library. So I thought that was like amazing. And he had a lot of knowledge, and I could probably do a video on him, and maybe I will someday. But he was a great guy and very wise man. So, anyways, I just wanted to tell you that. Anyways, that's it. I hope you find that an interesting story. Look up Joseph Gabriel, and his last name. Let me spell his last name. It's Funes. Hopefully, I didn't pronounce it too wrong. But anyways, he was a really interesting guy, and it really shows that you can kind of blend together the wisdom of a religious person with the wisdom of a scientific person. Anyways, with all that said, thanks. Until we see you next time. Bye bye.